watch me read.
I'm sure they would, son. Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day, Betwa Boo. Remember, Betwa Boo is a greeting that the Bantu peoples, the Bantu, you hear people say Bantu, but it's actually pronounced Bantu. The Bantu people greet one another with. Bantu is what Betwa Boo is, house of the Father. House of the Father. So when we say house of the Father, you're telling them, you're recognizing that they are house of the Father, and you're speaking it into them. Our language is powerful. That's why Yahuwah said he's going to restore unto his people a pure tongue. Language is heritage. Language is identity. That's why this guy here that's why when our ancestors doing the scattering of my people, when they separated the children from the parents, there were no elders there to teach the children their native tongue, and it was forbidden for our people to speak in our native tongue. Our tongues carry power. Our language carries power. All right, so Betwabu, house of the Father, house of the Father. Betwabu. Okay, y'all. So today it is Friday the 13th. It is December 13th, 2019. Day 18, year 2. And we are reading Exodus 2, 3, and 4.
No, Exodus came after Genesis.
Yeah. Whose child are you? Son, go pull yourself together, get ready. You know. All right, Exodus chapter 2. Let's get started. First thing this morning, he tried me. And there went a man of the house of Lewi. Now, Levi is pronounced Lewi in Bantu. I don't have all of the pronunciations and proper spellings of all of them. I'm trying to pull all of them together before I share all of them, because like I already shared Benjamin. I'm like, I'm gonna wait. Yahunda is Judah, but I want to finish getting all of them together in the proper pronunciations of them, so I can put how you pronounce it, in the parentheses, so you can say it right. So I want to put all of them there together. That way, so when you begin to get familiar, like you will live. If you're Bantu, if you're of the Bantu's people, you're going to begin to notice. You can mark my words. You're going to begin to notice that you're going to begin to notice something happening on the inside of you. I kid you not. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Yahuwah is returning to his people a pure language, and he is returning us to him. And when we return to him, we throw off all the chains of Babylon, of our captivity, and everything that came with it. And it's a process. It really is.
Like me dating a black girl, because
well, if you don't get out of here, nobody says nothing about dating a black girl.
Like,
yes,
I'm all interested in black girls now. I don't, like, no offense to anybody in this thing that's not black, but
how is this a part of? Okay, yes, marry within your own tribe. Okay, that was a command. So blood is not diluted, and it's not a racial thing. But we'll talk about that another day. When we talk about that, people would like to make it a race thing, but it's never been a racial thing. All right, so. And it's actually, you are to marry within your tribe, from the tribe of your dad, the tribe of your father. All right, so, okay, let me go. And there went a man of the house of Lewi and took to wife a daughter of Lewi. And the woman conceived and bare a son, and when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and pitch and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river brink. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river. And her maidens walked along by the river's edge, and when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, or in Bantu is Massa. Massa. We've heard that before. Massa. Some people say Massa. Massa means water, or Mayi. Mayi also means water in the Bantu languages. So Massa. It just takes me in a whole other train of thought doing the scattering and okay, we'll leave that alone right now. But Moses is Massa, or over in like Saudi Arabia and Israel, you'll hear them say Moshe or Musha. But it's actually Massa and Bantu. So let me tell you something. It's so much easier to pick it. Like, I'm researching it, but it's sticking to me. Like when I was like learning like the modern Hebrew, I'm like, okay, I gotta remember that. You know, I was learning it, but it was like, wait a minute, I need to go back. I need to practice that. But I'm like hearing this and going over it once, and it's sticking to me. I'm like, whoa, I hit the jackpot. Woo, you know, so, but I told you, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, back in March, because I write down most of my dreams on what I hear Yahuwah say to me, and it was this word that I had heard, and I started looking it up. I didn't even know it started with K-I, so I'm like, I wrote it how it sounded. I'm not sure if it was the proper spelling. So I reached out to a couple people that I recently found out that speaks Congo or Kikongo, or that they're Bantus and they're from the Congo Basin. But I replied, I was looking and made a little comment on the video because I didn't have like the email, you know, and I'm asking them, is there a word in the Bantu language? Because I was looking at a video, and when he said, I was like, whoa, wait. That's the word I heard. I'm like, oh, shoot, what did that mean? I still don't know yet, so I'm waiting on the response. I put it on a couple of videos that he did because I'm not sure how often he checks his comments on YouTube. I'm like, what is it? I said, and he says it in his opening prayer on all his videos. I said, oh, that's the word I heard. What does that mean? So I'm listening to him, trying to figure out, I said, what does that mean? What does that mean? I still haven't really picked it up, but I know it's Kikongo. It's Congo. It's the Bantu's language. I'm like, oh my gosh. You said a Bantu word to me back in March. I don't know what it means yet, but I definitely know it's Bantu now. That's why I couldn't find it when I was researching it. So now I'm like super excited. As soon as I find out what it means, I'll share with you. So, but I'm just saying, like, it's sticking to me. It's so much. This is me. I found my tribe. Okay. So all right, people, I'm like super excited. Okay. I was on verse, let's say 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son, and she called his name Massa. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. And it came to pass in those days when Massa was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. I know, right, Trin? You should see me over here when I learn something new, because it's sticking to me. Even yesterday, I got all choked up when I was praying. I had to go up to the warehouse for a delivery that was coming, and I just started praying. And so I started praying I was praying with the intellect, what I had learned in the language, the word, at least part of my prayer, the words that I knew in Bantu, I use them instead of English words, because there's something about when people praise Yah in their native tongue, you're praising him in a way that you were designed. It's different. Oh my gosh, it's different. You know what, Trina? Matter of fact, I'm going to upload y'all today, because I came across like 3 videos. It's about one person, but he did it in 3 videos. The first one is like 38 minutes. The second one is like 48 minutes. And the last one is like 15 minutes. And he's going over some Bantu words. And you can tell that's one of us. That's a brother. It's one of us. But he goes through and he explains some of them. So I'll post it. I'll actually, today, in a couple hours, I'll download them and I'll upload them to the page, and I'll tag y'all in them so y'all can see them when y'all get a chance. Y'all can like listen to them and get familiar with the sounds and stuff. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that because I know you said, Trina, that you wanted to learn. So I'll upload that for y'all. All right. Throw that away. Put the spoon in the sink. Okay. And it came to pass in those days when Massa was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him, what did the wrong? Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedst the Egyptian? And Massa feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Massa, but Massa fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherd came and drove them away, but Massa stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. Now, mind you, they couldn't tell the Hebrews or the Bantu and the Egyptians apart. He was raised with the Egyptians, but he was clearly a Bantu or a Hebrew. Okay, let me bring out a point. Okay, so if you've been following my page and watching stuff, you will see the progression over the name changes and what we've been called. And every time I learn something new, like there's a whole bucket of names that they have referred to us by, but it's still talking about the same people. And I'm trying to pull all of those together. You will hear me say Hebrew or Abri or Ibri, throughout the last year or something. Like, wait a minute. So the names are constantly changing depending on where you were. And even here in the United States, Negro, mulatto, African American, the indigenous people, there were black people, but not all of them were Hebrews or Ibri, Abri, or Bantu people. But they are mixed. They were scattered to the 4 corners of earth, so you will find our family everywhere. So what I want to do, I want to gather up all those names. So whenever you're out and you hear those names, it doesn't matter which one of them you are, you can identify that these are these people. Even Bantu, you over in Africa, sometimes they're called Hutu, or it's a couple of them I learned. Yes, I was like, oh, they almost sound the same. Some of them are completely different. But if you're familiar with those terms, when you hear this, like, oh, they talk about the children of Yisolili, or the Bana Yisolili, the children of Israel, the children of Yakuba, or the children of Jacob. It can get confusing if you don't understand. But now it's like, it's like I'm honing it. I was like, yeah, that's what they're talking about. And it's so much easier. And it's like it brings things together, and it makes the picture so much more clear. Now, I've been doing this for like a couple years, so now it's just like now everything is like clicking and locking into place. Some people, they don't have the patience that I do to keep going and digging, because I know it's something is still missing. Something is still missing. Oh, and I learned something yesterday about the Israelites over there, the actual Israelis. Now that I understand, there is a very good distinction between our people. Now, mind you, they learned the Bantu language. Our ancestors taught them, but our people actually taught them the language, and they took it and they added their twist to it, but they also added German to it. They added Slovakian. But anyway, I watched a video by one of their own, a European Jew, and he actually was studying. Mind you, they inherited lies as well, so he was one of them ones that he started studying their heritage and where they originated from. And when the blood test came back that they originated from the Europe and the Poland area, he's like, well, wait a minute, no, then he started doing a little more deeper searching and realized that the Jewish people, the European Jews, they their language, what they speak is he's not a Hebrew or modern Hebrew, it's a Yiddish. It's a compilation of a lot of different languages that they put together to speak code to one another when they were trading with the Germans and with their people and stuff. So when they would meet up, they would use this particular language to trade. I turned that on heat up. You can go ahead and cut that off. I mean, both of them. So that they can do their secret trades and stuff. So they use it as like a secret code language. French too. Yep. You're right, Trina. So I'm a pull that and I'm gonna upload that as well, because a lot of times our people don't like to listen to us, but they'll listen to it when those who colonized us said, because that's how they trained our minds. Oh, you listen to Massa, that's why I said Massa, Moses' name. They're calling him like by a deliverer's name. It's that's a whole nother revelation in itself. But anyway, a lot of our people, and it's sad, but I get it, I understand, because we were colonizing, we were trained to ignore our own and serve the colonizer, those who colonized us, the European, right? So I'm gonna upload that video, so those that don't listen to me, if they look at it, maybe they'll believe it if one of their own tells it. He goes into detail. The videos, it's not that long. The clip that I saw was about 10 minutes yesterday. I'm like, oh, wow. And he's so detailed in that 10 minutes that it will blow your mind. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes so much sense. Hey. Okay, so let me finish this. But I'm going to upload that. I'm going to share all this with you guys so you can, what it took me like these last couple of years to pull together, I'm going to try and give it all to you so you can look at it and you know what to go to. Okay. Yes, that's Tiffany. He's sitting here looking at the screens. Okay, who is she part of our family? Right? Yeah, he can't see the picture.
Sorry, some of y'all haven't met in a very long time.
Okay, Jeremiah.
Last time y'all seen me, I was like 4.
Okay,
hey,
all right.
I don't mean to interrupt, but did anybody see my White Sox hat? Did you see it?
Check in your closet.
Yeah, I ain't going in that. I ain't going in that thing. I got Aaron to clean out downstairs. I got so many doggone pair of shoes on. Nah, I'm cool.
I think I tossed it in there. It was like 4 of them I put in there. Okay, y'all. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? And why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread. And Massa was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Massa Zipporah his wife, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died. The children of Israel sighed by reason, the Bana of Yisolili sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried. Love you too. And their cry came up unto Yahuwah by reason of the bondage. And Yahuwah heard their groaning, and Yahuwah remembered his covenant with Abana, or Abraham, and with Isaac, and with Yaakubah. I know Isaac, but I forgot it. I'm going to post it today. I'm going to post their names today. And with Yaakubah. And Yahuwah looked upon the Bana of Yisolili, of the children of Israel, and Yahuwah had respect unto them. Now Massa kept the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of Yahuwah, even to Horeb. And the angel of Yahuwah appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. Hey, listen, y'all are loud. Can y'all go through there? Let me finish this. Go ahead, take that too, because she's just going to get louder. And the angel of Yahuwah appeared unto him in the flame of fire out of the midst of a bush, and he looked, and behold, the bush was burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Massa said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush is not burned. And when Yahuwah saw that he turned aside to see, Yahuwah called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Massa, Massa. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Yaakubah. And Massa hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and bring them up out of the land and bring them up out of the land unto a land of a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Yisrael is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them.
Check that back door. That back door.
And I think this thing is happening today. Like, I know this is happening today. The children of Yisrael are beginning to cry out again to Yahuwah. Now come therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Yisrael, out of Egypt. And Massa said unto Yahuwah, who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, that I should bring forth the children of Yisrael out of Egypt? And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve Yahuwah upon this mountain. And Massa said unto Yahuwah, behold, when I come unto the children of Yisrael, and say unto them, the God of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say unto me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And Yahuwah said unto Massa, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Yisrael, I am, have sent me unto you. And Yahuwah said moreover unto Massa, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Yisrael, Yahuwah, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Go and gather the elders of Yisrael together, and say unto them, Yahuwah, the God of your fathers, the God of Abana, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done unto you in Egypt. And I said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to the voice, and thou shalt come, and thou and the elders of Yisrael, unto the king of Egypt. And ye shall say unto him, Yahuwah, the God of the Hebrews, hath met with us, and now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice unto Yahuwah our God. And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go, no, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof, and after that he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor, and of her that sojourneth in her house, jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons, and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. Last chapter for the day, Exodus chapter 4. And Massa answered and said, but behold, they would not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they would say, Yahuwah hath not appeared unto me. And Yahuwah said unto him, what is that in thine hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it to the ground. And he cast it to the ground, and it became a serpent, and Massa fled from before it. And Yahuwah said unto Massa, put forth thine hand, and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand, and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. That they may believe that Yahuwah, the God of their fathers, the God of Abana, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob have appeared unto thee. And Yahuwah said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. And it came to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And it shall come to pass, that they will not believe these, also these 2 signs, neither hearken to the voice, that thou shalt take the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. And Massa said unto Yahuwah, O Yahuwah, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue. And Yahuwah said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh dumb, or deaf, or seeing, or the blind? Have not I Yahuwah? Remember, Yahuwah is the creator of all. He creates good and he creates evil. And he just reiterated that to Moses. Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shouldst say. And he said, O Yahuwah, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wast send. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is not Aaron the Lewi, or the Levite, thy brother? I know that he can speak well, and also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee, and when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put the words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be to thee of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of God. And thou shalt take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. And Massa, or Moses, went and returned to Jethro his father-in-law, and said unto him, Let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said unto Massa, Go in peace. And Yahuwah said unto Massa in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. Don't that sound familiar? And Massa, or Moses, took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Massa took the rod of Yahuwah in his hand. And Yahuwah said unto Massa, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou doest all these wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand, but I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahuwah, Yisolili is my son, even my firstborn. Or Israel is my son. He is my firstborn. Now mind you, this was the very first time. Was it the very first time? This is the first time that he said it this way, that Israel is his son, or Yisolili is his son, his firstborn son. I just want to make a point of that. And I say unto thee, Let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. Now mind you, he just told us who his son was. He said, Let my son go, that he may worship me. Who was he talking about? He's talking about the people, the children of Yisolili, the children of Israel. Didn't we just hear the conversation? He told Moses, Go talk to Pharaoh. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go, that they may worship me. He said, let my son go. Not one, but an entire nation of people. Let my son go, that he may worship me. So when you see Yahuwah talking about his son, he's not talking about one person. He's talking about an entire nation of people. And I say unto thee, Let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. And we remember that the last plague was the plague of the firstborn, because Pharaoh did not listen, and he did not let Yahuwah's son go. He did not let the children of Yisolili go. He did not let the entire nation of people go, that Yahuwah came and killed Egypt's firstborn son. Not one, but all of the firstborns who belonged to Egypt, from Pharaoh's son all the way down to the slave son and the animals' firstborns. He's not talking about one person. It's an entire nation of people. I want to make that clear, because we're taught something else different in the church. I want you to see how it's made clear all the way through. And when you can see this and you recognize the people, you can see the pattern. And you can see truth that's been hidden in plain sight from us even today when we walk out our doors. All right? That's something very important we must know, that we have to get. And it came to pass by the way in the end that Yahuwah met him and sought to kill him. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me go back. Oh, I thought I skipped something. I'll just go 2 and 2 again. Verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahuwah, Israel, Yisolili is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. And it came to pass by the way in the end that Yahuwah met him and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So he let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art, because of the circumcision. And Yahuwah said unto Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Massa. And he went, and he met him in the mount of Yahuwah and kissed him. And Massa told Aaron all the words of Yahuwah, who had sent him, and all the signs which he had commanded him. And Massa and Aaron went together, all the elders of the children of Yisrael. And Aaron spake all the words which Yahuwah had spoken unto Massa, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that Yahuwah had visited the children of Yisrael, and that he had looked upon their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshiped. And that is our reading for today, beautiful people. We read Exodus 2, 3, and 4. Now he talked about the signs of power, and we're about to start seeing the signs of power in our reading, not tomorrow, but Sunday. All right, y'all. Quick recap. It is Friday the 13th, December the 13th, 2019, day 18, year 2. And I just told y'all we read Exodus 2, 3, and 4. If you missed it, go back and read it. Rewind the video, listen to it, however, but just get familiar with the story, learn what's going on. All right, so with that being said, beautiful people, I wanted to say something else. I think I'll wait. But anyway, prepare to rest. We're going to the Sabbath at sundown. And really, guys, take your rest. Because if you're constantly working, to the baby, trying to climb up here. If you're constantly working and not giving your body a chance to rest, you're gonna begin to feel it, and your body is gonna break down. So we have 6 days that were given unto us to work. Take the 7th and rest as Yahuwah commanded, so you can be rejuvenated and your body can heal itself, and it'll keep you from getting sick. All right, so with that being said, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and lift his countenance upon us and be gracious unto us in our households, and may he give us his salama, or his shalom, or his peace. Yes, you can press it in a second. All right, beautiful people. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you Sunday morning. Peace.
My turn.
Yeah, she's going to turn it off.